Bills Mafia, let's talk about what's happening in Buffalo right now. Because the Bills are once again showing that they're a team obsessed with growth, perfection, and making sure 2025 is the year we finally get over the hump. Before we dive deep into this breaking news, I want to remind you to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you love Bills news and want to stay plugged in all season long. This is going to be a huge ride, and you're going to want to be part of it every step of the way. Now let's get right into it. For the very first time in his NFL career, Josh Allen will not be suiting up for a preseason game. That's right. Saturday night, when the Bills head to Tampa to face the Buccaneers in their preseason finale, Allen is going to be watching from the sideline. And folks, this is no small headline. Think about it. Year after year, Allen has made it his mission to be out there in the preseason, even when other franchise quarterbacks were holding clipboards and resting. That's always been Allen's mindset. Get live reps, shake off the rust, and make sure he's in mid-season form by week 1. ESPN's Adam Schefter was the first to break the news that Sean McDermott confirmed Allen will sit. And when you think about what that means, it tells us a lot about where the Bills are as a team right now. First off, let's address the obvious. The Bills are coming off an embarrassing 38-0 preseason loss to the Chicago Bears. That's the kind of performance that makes the headlines and shakes the locker room a little bit. Normally, you'd expect a competitor like Allen to want to get right back out there and fix it. But this decision tells us something different. Buffalo isn't interested in risking Allen's health in a meaningless game. They know the real season begins September 7th against the Baltimore Ravens, and that's where all the focus is right now. And let's be honest, as much as we love seeing Allen launch bombs down the field in August, what really matters is having him healthy and sharp for the grind that's about to begin. This is a calculated, smart decision, and it shows that McDermott and Brandon Beane are thinking long-term, not just about bouncing back from a rough preseason showing. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't concern. The fact that Allen had never missed a preseason game until now shows just how much pride he takes in preparation. The streak being broken raises eyebrows, but to me, it speaks to something bigger. The Bills know their window is open, but it's not endless. They've been to the playoffs. They've gone toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs 4 times in recent years, and every time they've come up short. The clock is ticking. Protecting Allen is priority number 1. And speaking of protecting the team's core, let's talk about the state of this roster right now. Because while Allen is resting, there are other storylines we can't ignore, especially the injuries hitting this defense. This offseason has already been tough on the secondary. Rookie cornerback Maxwell Hairston went down with a knee injury. Safety Cole Bishop has been dealing with a quad issue. And now, Bills fans, we got another gut punch. Tre'Davious White, who returned to Buffalo this year after stints with the Rams and the Ravens, went down in practice with what looks like another leg injury. White tried to walk it off, but eventually had to be carted off the field. That's heartbreaking, not just for the team, but for White himself. Remember, this is a guy who's battled through an ACL tear, a torn Achilles, and missed major time in both 2022 and 2023. When he came back to Buffalo this offseason, it felt like a storybook return. He was healthy at training camp for the first time in years, ready to prove he still had what it took to lead this secondary. And now, well, here we are again, waiting on test results, fearing the worst. It's brutal, because with Hairston already out, White was penciled in as a starter. He's a veteran presence, he knows this defense, and he's a guy the younger corners look up to. If he's sidelined again, it leaves Buffalo scrambling in a secondary that has already been paper thin. And you can't underestimate how important that group is going to be this season. Week 1, prime time against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, that's no soft landing. You need every piece of that defense firing, especially against mobile quarterbacks and explosive passing attacks. But let's not forget the positives. The Bills' offense is still loaded, and they made major moves this offseason to stay dangerous. Josh Allen is coming off another MVP-caliber year. James Cook just got his contract extension, locking in the Pro Bowl running back for the long haul, giving Allen a reliable partner in the backfield. The front office added Joey Bosa on defense, a move that, if he stays healthy, could be absolutely game-changing. Pairing Bosa with Gregory Rousseau and the rest of that front seven gives Buffalo one of the scariest pass rush units in the AFC. And here's the bigger picture, Bills Mafia. This team is built to win now. The core is still young enough, but there's an urgency. 4 tries against Mahomes and the Chiefs, 4 heartbreaks. Last year's AFC Championship loss was as painful as they come. Every decision, resting Allen in the preseason, extending Cook, adding Bosa, trying to keep veterans like White healthy, speaks to one thing. The Bills are all in. 9 years. That's how long it's been since the Carolina Panthers used their first-round pick on Washington linebacker Shaq Thompson. Back then, Sean McDermott was the defensive coordinator in Carolina, Brandon Beane was part of that front office, and the Panthers were building a defense that would eventually carry them all the way to a Super Bowl appearance. And now, fast forward almost a decade later, that Carolina to Buffalo pipeline is still alive. We've seen it before. Star Lotulelei, Josh Norman, A.J. Klein, Dean Marlowe. The list goes on. McDermott and Beane have never been shy about bringing in players they know, players who understand the defensive philosophy, and players who they believe still have something left in the tank. This time, it's Shaq Thompson. Now let's be real. The past 2 years haven't been kind to Thompson. Injuries have slowed him down, including a brutal Achilles tear that ended his 2023 season in Week 4. For many players, especially linebackers who rely on burst and mobility, that could be a career ender. But Thompson isn't ready to let go just yet. He signed on with Buffalo earlier this offseason, and you could hear the passion in his voice when he spoke about the move. He said, "This is the defense I grew up in. This is the defense in 2015 when I got drafted. This is the defense I had to learn." Think about that. He's not just joining a new team, he's coming back home to the system that shaped him as a rookie. That's the kind of familiarity and motivation that can breathe life back into a career. Now, Bills Mafia, you might be wondering, what exactly can Shaq Thompson bring to this roster? Let's break it down. First off, experience. The guy has 123 career appearances and 4 different 100-tackle seasons. That's not just production, that's reliability. You don't last 9 seasons in the NFL at linebacker without knowing how to study, prepare, and adapt.
Second, leadership. Defensive coordinator Bobby Babich absolutely raved about Thompson this past week. And it wasn't just about his play, it was about his presence. Babich said, "Love Shaq Thompson, love Shaq Thompson." And I'm not even talking about the player. What a cool dude, man. His mentality, the way he approaches the game, you can tell he's a vet. He even shared that Thompson texted him, asking to meet later just to go over film, just to dive deeper into the defense. That's not a guy coasting through training camp. That's a guy locked in, hungry, and all about football. And you know what Babich said next? Lucky to have him. Lucky to have him. Those are strong words, Mafia. Of course, there's a reality check here too. The Bills currently have 8 linebackers on the 90-man roster. When it's all said and done, they'll probably keep 5, maybe 6. You've got the starters, Matt Milano, the heart and soul of this defense, coming back healthy. You've got Terrell Bernard, who broke out last season and looked like a star in the making. You've got Dorian Williams, a young player with speed and upside. And behind them, it's a battle. Shaq Thompson is fighting for one of those depth spots. His competition? Younger guys, faster legs, fresher bodies. But what Thompson has that they don't is nearly a decade of experience and a resume that shows he can not only play, but lead. And let's not forget, depth at linebacker has been tested in Buffalo before. We've seen Milano go down. We've seen rotations stretched thin. Having a player like Thompson, who knows the system and can step in without hesitation, could be the kind of insurance policy that keeps this defense elite. Now, I'll be honest with you, there are concerns. Thompson has already battled through injuries this summer, including a hamstring tweak that pulled him out of the return of the blue and red practice. He's been working his way back, slowly ramping up participation, and only recently got back into full team drills. For a guy trying to prove he belongs, that's a tough hill to climb. But then again, this is the NFL. Nothing comes easy. And if there's one thing you can say about Shaq Thompson, it's that he's a fighter. He's not here for a farewell tour. He's here to compete. So what does Josh Allen sitting out this weekend really mean? To me, it's simple. The Bills are done playing with fire. They're not risking their quarterback for the sake of tradition. They're protecting their most valuable player, saving the ammo for when it truly matters. And honestly, it's the right call. But now I want to turn it over to you, Bills Mafia. How do you feel about this? Do you like the decision to finally rest Allen in preseason? Or do you worry that skipping game reps could throw him off his rhythm in week 1? And what about the defense? How concerned are you about Tre'Davious White's latest injury? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them and replying. And if you're fired up for this season, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any updates, because this channel is going to be covering it all. From Allen's MVP chase to James Cook's new role to the never-ending battle with Kansas City. Bills Mafia, the ride is just getting started. We'll see you September 7th under the lights against the Ravens. Until then, stay strong, stay loud, and go Bills.